Quick review of the soil tester here. So I'm going to show this to you in different soils throughout the backyard here so that we can see the difference between them. But I'm going to go through this here. So here is the probe. And the probe is going to have some different colored rods. They do it for a very specific reason. But to go through it here, essentially up top here, this number, that's going to be the light intensity in this area specifically. This is the outdoor temperature. This is the humidity. Then this stuff here, the soil, this is all going to pop up when I test it. So on here, it's very easy. You'll see the measure and you can change things around here. But let's stick this in here and I'll show you. Okay, so now that it's inserted, something very important is when you're messing with this, in the back here, you see these are going to measure the air and everything. So when you're measuring this in area, you want to hit measure, and then you really just want to lay this down. You don't want to block that at all or hold it. It just wants to be still. So once you put this in there, this is our standing garden. So we're testing the soil to see what would be best to plant here. I'm going to hit measure, and it's going to go through, and it can take up to a minute, sometimes depending on exactly what it is, especially the pH. So it actually did pretty quick. So you can see the soil, the temperature, or temperature of the soil. This is soil in fertility. Down there, that 40 number, and then that's going to be the pH, very important. And then that 35 is the soil moisture. So if we wanted to, what we could do is you could take this, because it's always recommended to test in different areas. So like, for example, I'll put this over here now, because maybe this side gets more shade than that other side, and you can see if it changes at all. But when we hit measure again, and it's going to count down there. But then I'm going to show you a area with higher pH, that way you can see exactly what it looks like. But bam, you can see it's different. So the pH over here is 3.5. But soil, fertility, and then like I said, moisture, temperature, all that's going to pop up there. So I'm going to try this area out over here. Then I'm going to take it to a very high pH area. But again, you don't want to block this, so it's really just best to kind of let it sit there if you can. And then I'm going to hit measure again. But if you can just kind of let it sit there, and it'll measure the air and the light intensity, all that stuff over there. And you can see that's going to be for this area. Now let me take it to a high pH area, but overall I can tell you right now, this thing is pretty accurate for the areas we've tested and what kind of plants we've used. So let's go to the high pH. Okay, so I got the probe set here. This is an area where I know the pH is extremely high. So let me hit the button here. So it's going to measure. It's got to be over 6, I'd imagine. Oh, so 5.1. So this is actually in pine needles. So that is a pretty high pH for over here. So you can see the difference with those numbers, this like soil wise compared to the standing garden. So that's why it's important to have one of these, because we've planted stuff before where we didn't know the soil, and then you go and plant it and the plant dies, or it's just not suitable for these numbers. So if you match these numbers with the plants you're planting, you can have a thriving garden, especially with crops and things like that. So this soil tester, super handy. It's very lightweight, very easy to carry around. Like I said, just don't block that. Super easy to use. I highly recommend this if you're a gardener, or if you're somebody who's investing in plants, because some plants can be pretty expensive. You want to make sure that you're planting it in the right areas and you're not going to waste them, because we learned that with hydrangeas. So definitely recommend this thing. This thing's fantastic. Gives you all the great measurements. And like I said, it's pretty dang accurate from everything else we've tested.